This is the main event, Mark's Podcast, brought to you by Belly Up Unhinged Radio Network Sports. I am your first host, lifelong wrestling fan, former radio guy, cat dad, and the man who always observes this. I am Troy. And with me, as always, is the main event collector and figure hunting warrior. He is the WCW watcher of classic wrestling, and the Hulk Hogan to my Macho Man. Oh, yeah. It's Greg. What's up, Greg?
Lock it in.
Lock it in, man. Oh, yeah, Hogan. Go get your banana hammock. Dig it.
Good
man.
Lord.
But anyway, today, man, we're talking about World War III from the greatest year in wrestling history, 1995. I
have no words. I just...
Yeah, right? I mean, come on.
Hey, look, you know what, though? All honesty, when I was a kid, I don't care what anyone says. I was, like, amped and excited for Monday Night Raw and Nitro. 1985.
Yeah.
I mean, I would, like,
They
throw a fit if I couldn't watch them. So, no matter how bad they were, I mean, hindsight, obviously, they were bad, but I don't forget that. I don't forget that feeling I had on Mondays, knowing I'm going home and watch Raw tonight.
Well,
and it was Raw because Nitro didn't start until September, so majority of this year was Raw. But yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, you know, and if that burns your ass, man, you know, just remember, we're only 22 days out as of the dropping of this. We're only 22 days out from cutting into the bird, man. So there you go. Getting it in.
And that means we're, what, 22, 23, 24 days away from War Games. So I'm stoked.
Games. Yeah, I'm a little upset that they don't have William Regal to yell that anymore. But, you know, whatever. Now he's yelling, blood and guts.
Because, you know, that was funny.
Yeah. I just love people have made, like, compilations of him yelling, War Games. It's great. Classic stuff, man.
I'm hoping Gunther yells it towards the bloodline.
Ja, War Games. Schnitzel. I don't know. Whatever the Austrians yell. Am I getting a letter for that one?
No, I want to kick you in the face for that. He's one of the best wrestlers on the planet. You just disrespected him. How dare you?
Yeah, the ring general or whatever. But yeah, so I feel like, you know, yeah, whatever. People complain that, oh, he's, you know, he used to be Walter, now he's Gunther or whatever. It's like, I feel like that was kind of a lateral move.
It was. I mean, they capitalized his whole name, by the way, just like Walter was. So, I mean, there's that.
Yeah, so it's not just Gunther, it's Gunther.
The fact that he's a top guy on SmackDown, by the way, I don't give a damn what they call him.
Top guy.
I'm good with that.
Well, as long as they don't call him late to dinner. But either way, enough talking about.
I heard Shockmaster say that in WCW. That was like a thing that he said to Mean Gene.
Good Lord!
They call me Shockmaster, call me Uncle Fred. Just don't call me late to dinner. That's what he said.
Yikes!
I'm making it up. Oh, you can't make this up.
Oh man. But
he is Shockmaster. He is not in this.
Well, yeah. Oh, thank God. Yeah, that's just gonna ruin the whole show, man. Now it's gonna suck.
Yeah. The Shark's in it.
Oh,
nice to have him.
Whew, wow, man. Thank God. Anyway,
I do every time I watch something with Shark in it. Trust me.
Yeah, right. Well, he's not a fish, Greg. He's a man.
Nobody tell him Shark's not a fish.
Well, I'm glad that he told us, because here I was thinking he was an actual shark. Like, so that just blew my whole mind. Like, whoa, I don't want to take a peek behind the curtain, okay? Like,
I have a Mattel figure of the shark. It's a very rare one. Well,
wow, yeah.
Ask me if I want to sell it. At a nice chunk of money, by the way, but no.
I have Earthquake. I do not have
got that
Shark.
too.
Yeah. They need to make all of his gimmicks, man. They need to make a Golga next. I mean, come on.
They could technically make an Avalanche and get away with it because he's only on Avalanche because they sued for it. So I assume they could do it, right? I don't know how that works, but
it looks like somebody drew it with a Sharpie on his singlet. Yeah, it was fun. But yeah, so
I didn't say it'd be good. I just say you could make
it. We're gonna get into a lot of news and notes here on this show, but before we do that, we're going to pause right quick to let you know that the Main Event Marks is sponsored by Swift Lifestyles. Their clean energy drinks and focus enhancers, great tasting vitamins, and big brain nootropics that are made and shipped from the USA. Go to swiftlifestyles.com and use our special promo code Main Event Marks. That is all one word to get 15% off your order. It's Main Event Marks, all one word, for 15% off your order. And now, before we get into the news and notes, and while we're anticipating, stuffing the bird and shoving it in there real tight, we're going to take our next break.
If only we were covering a TNA show. Damn.
I know. Well, it's coming up. Coming up, Greg. So God. Well, we're going to be using them basters, all right. God, I don't even know where I'm going.
It's going to come out a bit dry, but even though we based it.
Yeah, right.
Okay, we can do this all
day. Just a wee bit. Do you want the white meat or the dark meat? Anyway, we're gonna take our first break. On the other end of this, getting into the news and notes. Follow the Main Event Marks at facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector. Get ready to rumble in your new Main Event Marks merchandise. We've got t-shirts, hoodies, masks, hats, stickers, pins, and much more on our Redbubble store. That's maineventmarks.redbubble.com. You can also pick up some awesome clothing items with the latest updated show graphics on our Bonfire store. That's bonfire.com/store/main event marks. Support your favorite retro wrestling podcast and pick up some cool swag on our Bonfire and Redbubble stores. That's maineventmarks.redbubble.com and bonfire.com/store/main event marks.
Hey gang, it's Commissioner Cooper of TSS Fantasy. We are the fantasy show of the people. Expert fantasy advice, free contests, leading expert medical and legal analysis, and most importantly, you. Interact with us on all social media platforms or check us out at tssfantasy.com. You can hear us on Spotify, Apple and Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and many more. Check out the fun today and be a part of the most interactive fantasy show around. TSS Fantasy, the fantasy show of the people.
Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Find all of our links on our link tree at linktr.ee/Main Event Marks. And we're back.
We're back.
Just to let you know, the Main Event Marks is sponsored by Shocked Energy. Shocked Energy is a healthier alternative to traditional energy drinks. It gives the energy that gamers need while in a long session without skimping on their health. Their products come in a powder form to mix into your water. You can either choose the green apple or watermelon boxes. If you want to try both, you can get the sample kit, use our link in the podcast description, or simply go to shockedenergy.com. At checkout, use our promo code MAINEVENT, that's all one word, to save 10% off your order. That's promo code MAINEVENT to save 10% at checkout. Also, if you're tuning into a wrestling podcast to hear about wrestling and you want it gimmick and politic free, you probably want the same out of your products. Are you ready to ditch the gimmick coffee? Coffee Brand Coffee is fresh roasted to order using only the highest quality coffee sourced direct from farms around the world. They've got bagged coffee as well as K-Cups. Not into coffee? Well, they've got great teas and cocos as well. At Coffee Brand Coffee, their head coffee roasters have mastered the art of unlocking flavors hidden inside their beans. Each batch is custom crafted and curated to accompany unique flavor profiles. click on the link in the podcast description or go to coffeebrandcoffee.com and use our special promo code MAINEVENT, all one word, at checkout to get 5% off your order. That's coffeebrandcoffee.com and use the promo code MAINEVENT to save 5% at checkout. Oh, well, sorry, I forgot.
The moment's passed.
The moment has never passed. How dare you?
That's fair.
News and notes time. So I don't have roll tide on that one. Or should I say on that one?
Yes.
Grief.
Rockstar Pure Zero, no sugar. That's today's drink.
Oh, well, how about that? Getting in
I decided I can drink energy drinks as long as there's no sugar in them, so I'm good with that. But not daily.
Doing the keto?
No, it's not that good.
Yeah.
Rockstar Zero Sugar is decent.
Yeah, they're not bad. But either way, getting into, I will say the stories I have, I don't have a ton of like different stories, but some of these are kind of long and involved. So I'm packing it out. This first story,
packing heat tonight. Let's go.
Oh, F yeah. First story here. In a New York Post story, there's apparently an ongoing investigation.
Oh, good God. Every time it starts with this, it's bad. Go ahead. Sorry.
There's apparently an ongoing investigation into whether Laura Bravetti, who is the lead defense attorney for Vince McMahon's steroid trial, offered a key witness a bribe of up to $400,000.
2 years later. Sorry.
I'll say this: if I was a key witness and you offered me $400,000, I didn't see nothing. All right,
$400,000 in 1995. By the way, it's very important to say that part.
Oh yeah, that part too. I mean, even $400,000 now would go a long way,
totally.
but not
like back then.
Right, that was nuts. Yeah. The whistle was blown by Vince's ex-assistant, Emily Feinberg. Bravetti's husband is television producer Marty Bergman, and he is being investigated for pursuing witnesses and potential witnesses and attempting to taint or discredit their testimony in exchange for a television consultant job. First of all, I'm a child because I giggled at the word taint.
I didn't even catch that. Cool, I'm bigger than you.
Yeah, right. But anyway.
That's not saying much.
Wow. Bergman failed to disclose that he was living with Bravetti at the time of the trial, representing himself as a producer for 60 Minutes at the time and not mentioning his connection to her. Ah, man.
That sounds like every bad episode of a television show where someone's sleeping with someone just because they know something.
Yeah, right.
Turns out, you're just sitting for this. No, but I really do love you, though.
Hey, there's a congressman who slept with a Chinese spy, and hey, joke's on her. He didn't know nothing. All right.
Right.
So
he didn't even know how to. Never mind.
Good Lord. But yeah, I'd spend more time on this if it amounted to a damn thing. But like, I don't.
Clearly, it doesn't. I feel like this would be bigger news, but this is news to me. I never knew about this.
Yeah, I don't know if any of these people got taken down like outside of this, the trial here, but obviously Vince McMahon got cleared of like everything, and he didn't do any time. So there's that.
The federal government couldn't bring him down, but a couple of paralegals could.
Yeah, right.
You gotta love the irony in that.
What finally took him down was cancel culture. How about that?
It's like Al Capone, nobody could get him, but you cheated your taxes, man.
Yeah, right. They couldn't get him on, racketeering or, murder or any of that. But yeah, you didn't pay your damn taxes.
I just love us the smaller things, man.
Yep.
Oh,
effing nuts.
Damn.
No
that
one
sucks, but
ever escapes tax evasion. All right, no one.
I'd rather get caught shoplifting than tax evasion.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm just saying it's both stealing, essentially, but yeah.
Right. Well, Bret Hart won his
I don't
third.
do that, sorry, I need to point that out.
Yeah, you're not one of those a-holes that, rips open a toy box and replaces it with a similar sized toy.
Oh, those people, there's a special place in hell for those people. Now, I will say this. I do go into Costco, load up on free samples and stuff, and I don't actually buy any of them, but is that bad? I do have a Costco membership, so...
But hey, all of you people that do that kind of stuff, you're going to end up in that first circle of hell there with Virgil from Dante's Inferno. All right. But regardless, Bret Hart won his third WWF World Title, beating Diesel in the main event of the 1995 Survivor Series. Diesel seemingly turned heel after getting booed by the majority of the audience throughout the match. This new character direction, with Diesel mouthing "motherfucker" after his loss, would seem to indicate that they think that a toned-down version of what ECW does is somehow the way the company should be moving forward. No.
Well, I wouldn't get too vulgar. He'd be the only one doing it.
Well, I'm just going to say they're about to launch into the Attitude Era here very soon, so...
Ironically, after he leaves, but
yeah, right. They're like, God dang it, pal, we need attitude.
It's funny you mentioned that seemingly turning him, because after they all booed him, because it was Bret Hart, of course, but after they all booed him, the next night on Raw, everyone was cheering the hell out of him. So,
right,
yeah, it didn't work because he was like one of the first heels to be cool, which carried over to WCW, obviously, but.
Right. Yeah, because before then it was like there was nothing redeeming at all about the heels ever. That's the way it was. But the NWO came along and changed all of that, and obviously it started with Diesel and Razor ported over to WCW.
I could be wrong on this, but I feel like they were the very first heels to have a number 1 T-shirt.
Probably.
You don't see that back then.
Well, I mean, it comes down to stuff like, Jim Cornette said that when him and the Midnight Express had meetings with Vince back in like the 80s, and he said, well, half the meeting was just about what kind of dolls we'd get. And we're like, why do we care about merchandise and dolls? We're heels. We don't have that kind of stuff. Like, oh my God.
Well, you don't like money?
I guess not. Go back and work a program with the Four Horsemen for about 2 months, and then they'll, book it off to Stanford.
They eventually got Sweet Stan.
Oh, well, thank God. Public Enemy actually worked a dark match opener at Survivor Series against the Smoking Guns. I was today years old. And it came off as more of them getting squashed. Most of the crowd. I
want to say that's where Series is in Washington, not a far drive from Philly. So there you go. But,
yeah, that's true.
DC, by the way, not real Washington
State, right? Most of the crowd didn't actually know who they were. It was no, in '95, no. But it was a one-shot deal, and no contract has been signed. Yeah, because that damn bell had to ring.
Ironically, I think I've used that a couple times now. They would sign with WCW, the other big one, within a few months, I believe.
Why? Who knows? Because it's like, did Bischoff sign them sight unseen? Like, what?
Did he think he was getting like the rap group Public Enemy? And then the 2 overweight white guys show up? I don't know.
He's like, where's Flavor Flav?
Yeah, what does that do with a clock on his chest?
Yeah.
It's not what I signed up for.
You bring Chuck D with you? Like, what's going on? Are you just like the background dancers or something? Like, I don't get it. Oh, man. Yeah. But, one of the biggest shots.
The letter. No one's crapping on the human beings, by the way.
Yeah.
As wrestlers, though, man, they sucked. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they weren't good. One of the biggest shots has been fired in the Monday Night Wars yet, which ended up disappointing both sides in the ratings, with WCW offering up Hulk Hogan versus Sting for free on national TV, their biggest matchup to date.
It never went anywhere, by the way. That match was just a quick 2-minute thing that became a run-in and schmoz. I remember
Go
this.
figure, yeah. But the WWF countered with their most daring angle in years, referencing Shawn Michaels' attack and legit injuries in Syracuse. The main event on Raw saw Michaels collapse in the middle of the ring during a match with Owen Hart, teasing that he either suffered an aneurysm or a stroke. I don't know why Dave instantly went to aneurysm or stroke. That never popped in my head.
I mean, I was 11 years old. I don't know what the hell it was, but
I thought he was just, still suffering effects of his concussion. I wouldn't have thought.
I mean, they highlighted Owen Hart doing the enziguri on him twice in the match. So
right.
I was like, okay, so he literally knocked him out.
Right. But the angle was so convincing that those in attendance believed that it wasn't an angle. Many readers of the Wrestling Observer liken the angle to the Fritz von Erich heart attack angle, with people calling the Titan offices and being informed that it was 100% real, and Shawn was under doctor's care for post-concussion syndrome. Oh my gosh. Like, can you imagine being the secretary that had to field the calls from the marks, wondering if Shawn Michaels is okay?
Yeah.
It's a bad day at the office. But
I guess that gives you a little look into the star power they're about to have with that man, though. So there's that.
But yeah, this was not exactly the Fritz von Erich heart attack angle, because Fritz was like pretending that he was dying in the ring for real. Shawn Michaels just got knocked out.
I think a close thing to that would be Flair's quote unquote heart attack on Nitro.
Yeah, God, that man, so effed up.
Bro, you're gonna die in the ring, bro.
I think he will for real.
Way, so, God, I hope not. But man, he better stop. But yeah, just.
Yep. Well, although the WWF had by far the superior show, according to Uncle Dave Meltzer, WCW won the ratings battle with a 2.5 to a 2.3. Neither number is a success.
It's not really that big of a gap, is it?
Nah.
I know a win's a win, but
that's a rounding error, basically. Neither number is actually a success. According to Dave, this completely proves that, quote, Hogan has no juice left to be a major impact on ratings, end quote.
Well,
yeah, about that.
Now, had he said babyface Hogan, I might, okay. He just said Hogan, right?
Yeah, he just said Hogan.
Yeah, well, hey, dummy.
Give it a year.
Wait a couple weeks. No, a year? No, a couple of months.
Couple of months.
Yeah, it's, what are we in November?
November 95.
7 months or so. It's coming.
Well, Bash the Beach was July. Yeah, so 7-8 months. Yeah, and then he's
still, it's not that far off, dude. It's like closer than you would think.
Yep, still drawing the house. And still getting crapped on mercilessly by Dave. It's like, sure, his matches aren't good. Like, that's objectively true. But he's drawing the house. So, whatever. Pays off, brother.
I don't like Floyd Mayweather fights, but when he freaking fights, billions buy it. So, what's your point?
Yep. Oh, yeah. Well, Shawn Michaels might legitimately be out for a while due to complications from his Marine beating.
Good Lord.
Although the current plan is still to have Shawn win the Royal Rumble and then face Bret Hart at WrestleMania 12. That happens. Doesn't he eliminate Diesel again at the end of...
He does, yeah.
Okay. But, yeah. When the hell was it that he surrenders the IC title? Wasn't that all... Like, that already happened, didn't it?
It was the event before Survivor Series in October, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So he's still effed up from that beating? Good Lord. I guess he hadn't found his smile yet. So he's still looking for it.
It also might depend on when this news was written, because that might have been late October, and this might be early November, so it might not be that far apart. So
that's
that in.
Well, Brother Love returned to an on-screen role, interviewing Bret Hart about winning the title.
Yay.
Brother Hart, I love you. Anyway. One of the things that supposedly happened when Vince McMahon was on the road at house shows was that the Clique was going through a list of wrestlers one by one with him, evaluating whether they should be pushed or phased down. One of the guys that apparently wanted to be elevated was Skip. And one of the guys they wanted gone forever, bro, was Bob Backlund, who was suddenly back on TV with a renewed push. Oh, well,
really? Was he renewed push?
Yeah, it's like I think he already had his quote unquote push.
He did, yeah. He won the title at the previous Survivor Series, but
right.
I think he was doing much here.
Yeah. So I mean, not really. But Kevin Nash talked about. I think it was just him that was talking about this. He said this didn't ever happen. He said something similar to it happened, but he's like, can you imagine, like, Vince just shows up, all right, boys, here's a list of the roster. Who do you like? It's like, he was just asking opinions on different people. And, you know, he wanted, like, opinions from various people. And he said there were certain ones that, even if they didn't like the person, like, I don't think they liked Skip, but they were like, well, he's a good worker. Like Bam Bam. They didn't really care for Bam Bam very much, but
probably because he almost gets him killed. But
yeah, right. We talked about that off the air. Oh, no. We talked about that off the air, yeah, because it involved a lot of. Let's just say Bam Bam, while he was hanging out with Diesel and Razor on the road, dropped a racial slur just out of the blue to some Mexican gangbangers.
I was going to say, it's not the racial slur reason. You would think either, by the way.
Yeah. It's to a few Mexican gangbangers, apparently, who pulled a gun on him. And basically, they shoved him in the car and booked it down the road as quick as they could. So, yeah. Man.
A crazy-ass story, man.
Yeah. I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't heard it from Kevin Nash. He runs it down on his Click This podcast. So.
And it's nothing like crazy, like, oh, he's making this up. It's totally believable.
Oh, yeah. And he said after that moment, Scott Hall kicked him out of the car and said, you can never ride with us ever again. But it's hard to... It's hard to say that he wasn't a good worker and he couldn't hang in there with anybody. So, I mean, he did main event this previous WrestleMania for here.
Yeah.
So there you go.
But anyway, player, Big O, you suck.
This one, speaking of Bam Bam Bigelow, Kama and Bam Bam have both officially given notice, although Bob Holly gave notice. But now he'll be sticking around. No one knows if Pierre Lafitte is coming back after he recovers from his hernia. He would not. Dean Douglas is also on his way.
Well, who'd you say gave notice?
Kama and Bam Bam.
So Kama would definitely not go anywhere.
No, he's sticking around.
Bam Bam would be gone, yes, after Survivor Series facing Goldust.
He goes to ECW and, oddly enough, does some of the best stuff he's ever done in his career.
True.
At a main event level, I'll say. And then Bob Holly, he sticks around. Kama, though, like, I don't know. It's like, where did he think he was going to go?
This is 95, right? So he's already the Supreme Fighting Machine. He's going to be with the Nation as Kama Mustafa, but he's not going to be right away. Maybe he does leave and comes back. I can't think of anything he did in 96, honestly.
Hell if I know, man.
He's definitely back for the Nation of Domination, though, as we know, but I can't tell you for a fact that he sticks around for this. I've lost now what he did. But
he's BFFs with the Undertaker too, so.
And that's more than the Click. So, yeah.
Yeah, right. But yeah, Pierre Lafitte, he's gone. Gone forever, bro.
Oh, no.
I know. Not the pirate. But
not even a cool pirate like Paul Burchill either.
Yeah, that's a cool pirate. Anyway.
I thought it was cool. Screw you.
He looked like the blonde Jack Sparrow, basically. I have a Jax figure of him.
Why the hell wouldn't you want to look like Johnny Depp? That's a wish I pray to God for. Shut up.
Yeah.
You don't know anything.
Yeah, man. But Dean
you
Douglas,
wouldn't want to look like that man. Okay, fine.
I didn't say I wouldn't. I just he's just, whether I see it or not, he's got women like worshiping him. So whatever. But Dean Douglas is also on his way out and was backstage at the ECW show.
You know how that one's going to go.
Yeah. So he would go back to ECW and then get hurt 500,000 times. And yeah, so.
Manage a target.
But WCW now.
I don't think there's any shame in that, by the way. I'm not knocking that. Okay, I'm just going to point that out. Just a little footnote.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with having an honest job after wrestling, okay?
Yeah.
Dude, by the way, off topic on that, though, but off topic. Did you see, I think because we talked about him in a previous pod, has nothing to do with wrestling, by the way, Randy Johnson is now a photographer for MLB. Or
who
football.
is?
Randy Johnson. Like,
Randy. What?
One of the greatest pictures in the history of baseball. Yeah.
Holy God.
There's a viral picture of him as a photographer, and it was at a football game, I believe.
I'm going to assume he doesn't need the money. He just likes doing it.
Fun. Yeah, he's a damn Hall of Famer. He's got freaking World Series rings, and like I said, probably arguably the greatest ever, next to Nolan Ryan. So, yeah, so like, there's nothing wrong with having an honest job. And like, when I take that shot at Dean Douglas for working at Target, it's
and
not
he was
a bad
teacher.
thing. Yeah, Tony Schiavone worked at Starbucks, didn't he? What's wrong with that?
Yep, Kevin Kelly said he worked at a gas station for a while. So
I'm not knocking.
There you go.
It's just fun to say.
Yeah, Kevin Kelly worked at a gas station for a little while before Uncle Dave said that if you don't like him, you can go die.
That's why he got his job of bringing water.
Exactly.
And now New Japan. So yeah,
there you go. But on Nitro, no one cared, bro, about the Hulk Hogan versus Sting match after it happened. Hogan worked.
I told you why.
Hulk Hogan worked the match dressed in all black and got booed out of the building. Feels like that's setting up for something later on. But with the Dungeon of Doom running in and attacking both guys for the no contest finish. Oh man, why didn't anybody care about this?
It was so stupid. I guess the only logical thing you can put here is it wasn't a full match, and why that's good is because they didn't burn it. But still, it's dumb.
Hogan in all black, trying to walk on the dark side. He's got the Dungeon of Doom running in.
Yeah, we'll get to it within the pay-per-view too, but about obviously the dark side. You saw that part, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get to that. But he said he was channeling his inner darkness to go fight the Dungeon of Doom.
I don't know, man.
Shut up and take my money.
It's a lifelong Hulkamaniac. It's stupid talking about it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That had my ass in the seat. But
I mean, like I said, I was 11 years old and I ate everything up. So what can I say?
Yeah. Well, Woman is apparently upset at reports that she's leaving ECW for WCW, and she's denying it. Oh, how dare you report the truth?
Well,
you asshole. Meanwhile, Conan is for sure going to WCW, and he's not denying it to anyone.
He surprised me.
Yeah, he owns up to everything, man. He's like, hell yeah, F this place.
That's the one thing about him. You can never call that man a liar because he just doesn't give an F. We'll say it. Apparently he sticks people for money, or sticks them for money, but I don't think he's lying. I guess technically that is lying, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, Ric Flair will be out with a shoulder injury until after Christmas, so Sting will be wrestling Brian Pillman instead. Was he out until? I don't remember if he was at Starrcade.
Yeah, he'll win a title at some point, loses to the Giants, so he comes back kind of soon. This is gonna be a hell of a random, but like I need to get that figure that packed up. You seen that 2-pack with the Giant Ric Flair?
Yes. Oh
so
yeah, that's awesome.
That represents the match when he loses the title to the Giants after he comes back from this injury. So it was at that period right there.
I love that attire, by the way. The green trunks and the yellow boots. Like, I don't know why. I always kind of like that.
I think there's a Elite of that, which I got to get still. It just came out recently. But yeah, that two-pack is from that match. But.
I mean, screw the Oregon Ducks, but whatever. I don't know. I don't have anything. I don't have anything like rivalry against them. Whatever. It's just they're not my team, so screw them. But anyway,
yeah, it's been a while, so good.
This is these next few stories, just like it's one ongoing, just wow, with different facets to it. But
all right,
it does involve ECW, so I got to play This Week in ECW.
If I may have another volley.
Oh, yeah. Well, Sabu returned to ECW in a surprise on November 18th, although it's supposed to be a one-shot deal for now. This comes after WCW was basically done with using Sabu due to him brawling outside of the ring too much and the Sheik throwing a fireball on the pay-per-view without getting permission. I mean, that's just kind of what you get. I don't. What do you expect?
That sounds kind of made up.
I feel like these people have never seen Sabu or the Sheik, and they're just like, "What is this?"
Okay, Bischoff, you've already said he might have signed Public Enemy sight unseen. Did he do it with Sabu as well?
Yeah,
and
right.
2, I'm pretty sure Bischoff's aware of who the Sheik is.
Yeah, I was gonna say Bischoff grew up in the Detroit area. I'm pretty sure he knew the Sheik. So I don't know. That's what he does, man. Like, what the hell else?
What he does.
It was no secret that the WCW booking committee didn't like him and didn't consider him a good worker. Apparently, Sabu discovered he was fired. Apparently, Sabu discovered he was fired when he was watching Nitro on November 20th and heard Eric Bischoff talking about a former WCW talent who was no longer with the company. And then he called the hotline and discovered it was him.
Good Lord. That's worse than Austin and 6.
At least they got a FedEx. This mofo had to pay them. Think about this. He had to pay them to find out he was fired.
Wow.
Like, what?
I remember the on-air explanation, too. Do you remember what it was?
He was too extreme for them or something.
Yes,
crap.
They said TNT did not want him on the network because he was too extreme.
Yeah. So is that them just admitting that they're a bunch of pussies?
Pretty much.
Whatever.
Actually, or is it their light and easy way of saying he sucks to high hard when he's out of here?
Well,
I depend on how you look at it.
Why not both?
Yeah, why not both?
Sabu had never actually signed a WCW contract, unhappy that his position in Japan was being hurt by WCW using him as a mid-card guy. Oh, man. This was also why he never wanted his weight announced, because it would create the perception in Japan that he was a junior heavyweight and limit his upward mobility there. Okay. I mean, how much money were you making in Japan, bro? Like
1,000 yen.
Wow. That was always a thing. Like, you remember, like, they're like, oh, I can't do that. It'll hurt me in Japan. Like, shut the F up, man.
Who was that? I remember talking about it.
Vader. That was a big thing with him. And that's why Stan Hansen didn't do a lot in America. Because,
Hansen, that was the one. Yes, that was the one I'm thinking of. Yep.
Yeah. Hansen didn't really do a whole lot in America once the wrestling publication started reaching over to Japan. Because I guess he made a damn good living over there. So, whatever. Made a good living over there.
A little off topic, but how much money did WWE throw at the Good Brothers if they passed over Japan to go back? Oh, man.
Yeah. I'm assuming New Japan wasn't, like, paying them amazingly. I could be wrong. But also, I mean, maybe they just didn't want to go to Japan anymore.
That's true. But
I don't know. You see, I think the main event for the Tokyo Dome show, the Wrestle Kingdom, I think is going to be Jay White and Okada.
Yeah, I will probably watch that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So, and for some reason, Jay White dropped Eddie Kingston's name. Did you see that? He told
No.
Okada. Yeah, he said something like he's got a partner, and he told Okada, he's like, "Oh, go get your buddy Eddie Kingston, and we'll fight it out or at the next show or whatever."
No thanks.
Yeah, it's like, first of all, I'm good. Second of all, Okada is BFFs with Eddie effing Kingston. Like, what?
He's also BFFs with Orange Cassidy. I don't know. Maybe just I don't know.
Well, they are best friends, Greg. So
he can't go get Tetsuya Naito or Tanahashi. He's got to get Eddie Kingston.
Well, he can't get either one of them because they're they want to be the top guy, but he's the top guy, so they can't. I don't know.
So basically, they want to go get somebody who they know is not going to be a top guy. That's a real slap in the face to Eddie Kingston. Not that I'm worried about his feelings or anything, but still, it's kind of messed up. But whatever.
Hey, you're not gonna challenge me for my top spot, so get on over here. But this goes on though. Sabu was supposed to work a show in New Jersey for Dennis Coralluzzo on November 18th, the night that he returned to ECW. Apparently, Sabu agreed to fly himself in and pay for his own hotel room, and Coralluzzo advertised Sabu versus Hakushi in the main event.
Shut up and take my money.
I had that one locked and loaded. So, and he was hoping to pop a crowd to justify Sabu's asking price. You hope to pop a crowd with Sabu versus Hakushi? What? I'm not saying it was going to be a bad match. I'm sure it was fine.
I'll say it. I'll fall on that grenade. I'll say it was going to be a bad match.
I thought Sabu, especially in '95, was decent. Hakushi, he was a good wrestler. It was probably a good match.
I never saw it in Sabu ever. I'll give you Hakushi, but I never saw it in that fool.
I thought Sabu was entertaining.
I think if he had RVD carrying his ass, he was decent. Yeah. Anybody else? Oh, man. No.
Well, yeah.
Also,
that one.
It seems to be a running theme with him, like holding people up and doing something else. You remember that whole thing with Paul Heyman, like snapping on him in front of the live crowd, saying he'd rather be in Japan instead of out here with you guys. Screw him. And he came back apparently to ECW and then left for WCW, but they came back and left for like this whole thing is a mess.
Yeah,
he's kind of a mess.
I guess
not kind of. But.
Well, yeah. I guess he did do the show because it was earlier in the day, and then the ECW show was at night. But I'll get into a little bit more of that here in a minute. The WWF officials freaked out about a potential WWF versus WCW main event, so Dennis had to book a DQ finish so that Hakushi didn't have to do a job.
Okay, so it just dawned on me he was still under contract with them. I didn't get that.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Wow.
Well,
that's nuts.
Well, and it gets better, man. Because Devon Storm, a.k.a. Crowbar, actually interfered to set up future Sabu versus Storm matches for Coralluzzo. Because hell yes.
Get that thing ready? Roll it again.
Shut up and take my money.
Crowbar and Sabu, man. Hell yeah.
Oh,
asses in seats.
Oh, good Lord.
But this was supposed to set that up. But then...
Crowbar and Sabu would have a good match. They could draw anything but flies. Out. Holy crap.
Then Coralluzzo saw Sabu's appearance at ECW's November to Remember and realized that he had just been played. Well, how about that?
I'm shocked.
I know. I, for one, am shocked and appalled. Shocked and appalled, I say. Paul Heyman.
I'm stuck on Sabu and Crowbar. That was even stuck in my head for a while. Sorry.
Oh yeah, the man. That one is just like that's
I had a lot of fun laughing at Pac versus Orange Cassidy as the main event recently of Dynamite. You know what? Doesn't look so bad now.
Yeah, but those those two actually had talent though. Like this one, I don't know, man. All I can think of.
My point on Sabu, by the way. Thank you. Appreciate that.
I see Sabu versus Crowbar, and I just think,
sir, here is a check with my name on it. Write down any number on this piece of paper, and I will pay it.
Oh, hell yes.
Oh, man. Good grief.
God.
Anyway,
this is going to be the greatest
stupid.
YouTube short in history. Okay.
Well, Paul Heyman's side of the story.
I got to catch myself. Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Paul Heyman's side of the story is that Sabu agreed to do the ECW show first and then asked Paul if he could work the Carluzzo show earlier in the night, and Paul agreed to it because it would actually justify Sabu being in the city in case anyone saw him. Apparently, this was an open secret, and the only person who didn't know was Carluzzo.
All right, first of all, I like to start with open secret. That's completely oxymoronic. And two, Paul Heyman's word. Paul Heyman's word, though, is what I'm stuck on.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. This whole thing was a freaking mess. Well,
I had no idea I was going to be laughing so hard today, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Starting off November hot. Well, hey, history was made at November to remember, man, because also, this is the last
more oxymoronic statements. Okay, go ahead.
Well, it really was a November to remember because at the show, Stevie Richards introduced a new flunky named the Blue Meanie.
Oh, holy crap.
The show also ended with Terry Funk doing a retirement speech and basically saying that he was passing the torch of King of Hardcore to Tommy Dreamer. And of course, I think we'll all remember 1995 as the year when Terry Funk officially finally retired and hung it up for good.
And then on the Beyond the Mat thing, he retired in 1987. Then he returned as Chainsaw Charlie a couple months later. We could do this all day. Yeah.
God. Yep. Yikes. The last story I got here. It's a long one.
I just think of David Spade and Tommy Boy. Yikes. I got a plan. Right. Yikes.
But the last story I got here, it's a long one. There are a lot of facets to it. There's there's fighting, there's government, there's law.
You delivered on that last one, so
I feel like this is going to be like the almost like the ending of a Keenan and Kel episode. We got politics, we got legal battles, we got secret locations, and we got MMA fights. Meet me at the secret back lot in 5 minutes, Skippy.
Oh, here it goes.
Exactly.
I left out the part, and he goes, "Ask all the questions."
Yeah, Kanan, why do we need a badger and a wheelbarrow? Oh, I can't even get that on the roof. Oh, here it goes. Anyway.
Hey, rest in peace to Coolio, by the way.
I know, man. That sucks. We lost a real one. Him and Mrs. Potts. We lost this year, man. That's going to sting. Anyway. The Extreme Fighting Championships was supposed to take place in Brooklyn, bro. At the Armory.
Brooklyn.
But 2 days before the event, it suddenly turned into a political landmine. Oh, well, and you know, MMA never was a political hot button issue in New York.
No, wow. What's that idiot's name? Lieberman. I think he was a big one.
Well, I guess Senator Roy Goodman, I don't know who this is, held a press
He's a
conference.
white guy in a suit. Hope that helps.
Well, that's a good guess. But he held press conferences decrying the event, resulting in the Armory ownership group trying to get out of their lease with the EFC group. Their claim was, quote, they had been misled into believing that the event was a martial arts tournament, bro, rather than a political hot potato, end quote. Okay.
Well, like the All Valley tournament in Karate Kid? Oh, they thought it was?
Wait, where's Danny? My gosh. So it wasn't a martial arts tournament? I mean, I've
never heard what the hell this is, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I know.
When you said extreme fighting, I thought it was an ECW thing.
Right. Well, it's a mixed martial arts tournament, but I guess it's a political hot potato because certain people don't like it. So things can be
Joseph
two things at once.
and what's his name? John McCain.
Yeah. I
think those were the two.
John McCain didn't like it. And apparently Meryl Streep. So whatever. I know she's not a politician, but after the first judge.
Yeah.
Oh, I like how during her acceptance speech. Well, I like her. Yeah, during her acceptance speech, she said mixed martial arts, which is not the arts, and it's like, oh yeah, because Mamma Mia was a masterpiece. I'm sure.
There are people that will argue with you for saying that. I didn't say it. He did.
Whatever the other one was, where she's like an old washed up rock star or whatever, that movie bombed. I'm sure that's the arts, but UFC, no, F it. Anyway, after the first judge rightfully stopped the attempt because the contract was valid, a second judge immediately overturned it in an emergency court of appeals on the basis that the show would be, quote, violating the state's assault and battery laws, end quote.
But ECW can run shows there.
Yeah, right. Well, that's just fake fighting, pal.
Oh. The hell it is.
Right. So then, after the show had been well and truly kicked out of New York, the whole extreme fighting entourage was piled into a bus and sent packing to Wilmington, North Carolina. North Carolina! At a top secret location on the Carolco movie studio lot. Carolco?
Oh, Carolco, yeah. Carolco. I think they did Terminator 2, if I want to say, if I remember correctly. One of the greatest movies ever made.
Oh, of course. Real quick, I just want to pause before I finish up the story. Yeah, because if there's one place you don't want assault and battery happening, it's New York City. Heaven forbid.
Well, they don't want it organized. They want it just like a huge free-for-all on their streets, like in Brooklyn and Queens and stuff. And the Bronx.
Oh, hey, if you want this fight to happen, okay, it's got to happen down in the subway, all right? Knives have to be drawn. People have to be naked. Drugs all over the place.
We ain't doing referees and stuff, bro. Okay, just fight to the death. The loser dies. Winner goes to jail. That's how it goes. All right. It's New York.
Good grief.
Am I wrong?
No, but apparently it was a so top secret that even the bus driver wasn't told where the destination was. And that's always smart, not to tell your driver where you're going.
Just drive here until you hit the spot.
Right.
We're that New York, right south to hit the spot. Got it?
Yeah, keep driving until you see the one guy on the side of the street yelling, "Hootie hoo!"
Got the cardboard sign. Fighting here tonight. All right, there it is.
Yeah, right. And since there was no way to advertise the show beforehand, they handed out a few hundred free tickets to the locals, but they didn't tell them what the show would be.
Oh my God.
Just show up.
Okay, a couple things. Number one, isn't like selling tickets how you make the money to pay said fighters? And two,
you'd think
who the hell takes these free tickets? Like, just the show. Okay.
Yeah, what's this ticket for? You, that's what it's for. All right.
It's free.
Just show up.
Free?
Yeah, right. Free tickets. What, you want to fight about it? But then,
so what's wrong with this? I got a feeling it's only going to get better.
Right. Then, after all the clandestine buildup and controversy, the show sucked. It was
You shut the hell up.
I know. I was shocked too. But it was apparently by far the weakest of all the UFC ripoffs. There were no graphics, no apparent weight divisions. They lied about the match, what the matches would be taking place on the show. They lied about the records of the fighters. They lied about their credentials, and everyone on the show was supposedly undefeated.
Shut up and take my money.
Oh, man.
Not even for that. No.
Well,
what is this called again? Extreme Fighting?
Extreme Fighting Championships.
EFC. So it's not Elite XC. Okay.
Yep.
Is there any word on what it turned into? Okay, so I'm looking at it here. It's this one, the only one they have on Wikipedia says it was established in 2009. So it's Extreme Fighting Championship, right?
Yeah, it went till 2009.
No, it says it was established then. So I don't think whatever we're talking about even has a page.
Yeah, probably not.
It says it's an MMA promotion based in South Africa.
Well, that ain't it. EFC Worldwide homepage. Yeah, so apparently there's an EFC now.
Yeah, that's the one that was 2009, I believe.
Yeah, right. Yeah, founded 2009, like you said. Huh. Yeah, this is so.
It must have just been a fly-by-night thing, probably.
I guess so. Sounds like
I'm gonna go ahead
pretty quick.
I'm going to go ahead and assume they never ran a show after this. I could be wrong.
Yeah, this might have been one.
I might
done.
Put my money on that.
Right. Well, that does it for the news and notes. That was entertaining. We're going to take our next break.
I didn't start to laugh like that today.
Right. We're going to take our next break. On the other end of this, we are going to be talking World War III.
Follow the Main Event Marks at facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector.
By God! Somebody's interrupting the Main Event Marks! Sit down, JR. It's just me, Kyle Sullivan, aka Shaggy Von Doom, your host of Here in Puckburg on the Hockey Podcast Network. I know, a hockey show on the Main Event Marks. Who would have thought? This is an invasion angle. Somewhere between the Nexus and when WCW tried to invade WWE, somewhere in there. But I'm over here just telling you that one half of your tag team champions over here, Greg, he told his story of his love for the game of hockey over on my show. And if you'd like to hear that story, all you have to do is search Here in Puckburg wherever you get your podcast or on YouTube. In the meantime, Shagamania's got to go run wild on some other hockey show. So, just remember, quote the Raven, nevermore. Take your vitamins, say your prayers, and oh yeah!
Hello everyone, my name is Ryan McCarthy and I'm the host of the No Credentials Required podcast. Start your work week with the Monday Drop-In, where I talk about the sports beat in the Capital District, also known as the Mighty 518, as well as Metro New York sports from an upstate point of view. I also give a life lesson from a weekly sports story, so you might learn something from that. I also have a midweek podcast where I interview different sports personalities and talk about a wide array of topics. Take a listen and subscribe on your preferred podcast app, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Also check out our social media channels on Twitter and Instagram, BellyUpNCR, and Facebook.com/BellyUpSportsNCR. We're a part of the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network in association with Godzilla Media. No credentials required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports.
Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Find all of our links on our link tree at linktr.ee/Main Event Marks.
And we're back.
We're back.
Time for WCW World War III 1995. Took place on November 26, 1995. The tagline, 60 men, 3 rings, 3 giants, 1 battle royal.
I maintain that Shark could have been one of them giants, by the way. Or not Shark, Shockmaster. You laughed at me for that.
Sure. But the venue was the Norfolk Scope, the Norfolk Scope in Norfolk, Virginia, and I think it was a sold-out attendance of 12,000.
Yeah, this is the one we talked about. Remember that it was the highest gate they've had ever?
No, that was 97.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, because we were because we were just talking about the Halloween Havoc 97. Yeah,
things are all mixed up.
Yeah, we're getting.
But whatever
they're getting all run together.
Whatever the gate is, you got to divide it by 3.
Right. But the pay-per-view buy rate was a 0.43, so not bad. Me, Gene Okerlund.
I watched it, not in the traditional way, but
statute of limitations.
Not me though. It wasn't me. So.
But Mean Gene Okerlund interviews Hulk Hogan, Sting, and the Macho Man Randy Savage. Hogan's still in all black, but he says that he's done walking on the dark side, and he rips the black stuff off to reveal the red and yellow. He then burns the black shirt in a burn barrel in front of them. That's practical.
It has no effect when it's a plain black shirt.
Yeah.
It's not like you were I don't know. What's a good example? Burning something like a...
You're like a flag or something?
I don't want to say that, but yeah, that's what I was thinking. But something like that. But like really a plain black shirt. Ooh. I'll run you a few.
No more black.
I'll run you a few bucks at Kmart or what? How much you pay for that?
Oh yeah, Kmart. Wow, there's a throwback.
Hey, 95 was the thing. So
it definitely was. But Sting says that he's glad that Hogan's with them, and Macho Man apologizes for trusting Lex Luger. While Hogan's continuing to cut his promo, Sting is grabbing water and trying to put out the fire in the burn barrel. So Hogan basically throws a tantrum about Uncle Dave revealing that the Giant was going to be winning the WCW title. By the way, he was reading an old issue of The Observer. He actually said that, the hashtag plans changed. Macho Man's going to win it. And
what are we talking about? Did he say it in the promo?
Well, I don't think he exactly said that the Giant was winning or whatever, but he's throwing a fit about, the internet dirt rags and whatever, and revealing stuff. And then he says,
must have forgot to take notes on the promo.
Yeah. Well, he says that Randy Savage's arm injury was a total swerve, brother, on everyone, and says that the supposedly injured arm was just fine this whole time. This despite the fact that Savage has been wrestling for weeks with a severely taped up arm. So,
semantics.
Yeah. Hogan then threw the rag sheet, as he called it, in the burn barrel while saying, "Observe this."
I've always loved Hogan.
Uncle Dave said he feels flattered that Hogan would devote this entire promo to crapping on him. But we are then
shown pissed on him.
Good Lord. They then show a clip from WCW Saturday Night where the Diamond Doll and DDP got into an argument during an interview, and the doll walks away. She eventually comes back.
As only she can, all the way live.
Hell yeah. She eventually comes back and says that she's putting herself on the line in DDP's match against Johnny B. Bad because the TV title is clearly more important to DDP than her.
Yeah.
So here we go. It is now Johnny B. Bad.
Wow.
Defending.
Hey, you joke. That's an all-time classic right there. But
yeah, right. Hey, I had to get it in, man. But Johnny, I've been waiting. It's Johnny B. Bad defending the World Television title against Diamond Dallas Page with the Diamond Doll in his corner.
Real quick, I forgot. This is the era where Johnny B. Bad opened every pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah, especially in 95. This goes about 12 and a half minutes. DDP comes to the ring, treating the Diamond Doll well, kissing her hands and putting his arm around her. DDP also has a confetti cannon, just like Johnny usually has. Johnny, however, not to be outdone, has fireworks shooters from his hands. All right, last time, I promise.
Yeah, but his wife's a 10, so...
Oh, well, yeah. When they go outside of the ring, DDP uses Kimberly as a shield, throwing her into Johnny and then socking Johnny in the face. DDP shouts to Kimberly to hold up the 10. Anybody that doesn't know, she used to have like scorecards she would hold up through the match. It was dumb.
This was pre Dancing with the Stars, yes.
Yeah. But she refuses to hold it up. However, when Johnny calls for it later, Kimberly gives him a 10+. Johnny hits the bad mood outside and then a slingshot leg drop inside to win. Kimberly looks shocked and confused, but gets in and hugs Johnny. Johnny's always great for a hot opener, and DDP has really come into his own by now. Great match. Uncle Dave gave it a 3.5 stars. I give it 3. What say you?
I gave it 3. Loved it.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I really liked it. Shouldn't say love.
Yeah,
really liked it though. I thought it was good.
These two had some good chemistry. DDP was really getting good.
It's amazing knowing what's coming in the next maybe year or so. You want to say? Like,
yeah,
Mark Merrill's going to be WWE. DDP is going to be a huge face. It's nuts.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Well, Mean Gene Okerlund is on the stage saying that they have a new update on the WWF steroid scandal on the hotline. God.
Go ahead and say we already covered that in the news. Is that what it is?
Probably. Johnny B. Bad then gets interviewed and says that he'll treat the Diamond Doll with respect. And he asks the Diamond Doll to be his manager. He asks Diamond Doll to be his manager, and she says she needs to fulfill her dreams and achieve her goals. Kimberly says that she's proud of Johnny, and Johnny says that he's ready for World War III. Okay, sir, done. I'm done. That's the last time.
You sure? Because I think he's in World War III. We're going to see him. But,
yeah, well, maybe. But up next, man, we go from the penthouse to the outhouse. It is Big Bubba Rogers versus Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Oh, God. This match, sorry.
It is a taped fist challenge. It goes about 10 minutes. Dude.
Why?
Jesus wept, man. Duggan jumps Rogers from behind, halfway down the ramp, beats the hell out of him.
Jump start.
Rogers tapes, or he like tapes his fists, but Duggan's entire effing arms are taped for effing reasons. Shut the F up. Don't ask questions. Heenan says that Duggan's grandmother was a taped fist champion in Ireland. And
that part got me.
And Shivani says that Duggan traced his taped fist roots back to Ireland. Well, then.
Oh, Mr. USA?
Yeah, right. So, how about that?
Ironically, like years earlier, he was making fun of Big Boss Man's mother and got in trouble for it. So,
good Lord. Bubba tapes Duggan to the top rope and beats on him. Eventually, Duggan gets free and rips Bubba's shirt. Ray. VK Wall Street comes down with a chain on his fist. Duggan nails him off the apron with his 2x4, but, because he said, F these taped fists, I got to use wood. But Wall Street tosses the chain to Bubba anyway, who knocks Duggan out with it for the win. This was brutal. Uncle Dave gave it a 0.5 star. I gave it 1.5 stars. What say you?
Whole star. Sucked. Why was this
whole
on
thing
here?
Sucked? Well, because you got to get the former WWF guys in, man.
You have a plethora of former WWF guys.
But
you pick
Duggan,
these two.
Of course. What don't you understand, man?
Life, apparently.
Oh, God. Well, up next, Ric Flair is being interviewed by Mean Gene Okerlund.
Talk about he giveth and taketh away. Right here, boo. There you go.
Right. Rick is cheered like a freaking god, but a handful of little stingers boo him. Rick shouts through the whole promo saying that he's going to beat Sting tonight. Flair says that it was his master plan to get all of his rivals in the ring together and watch him win the WCW World Heavyweight title in the World War III match. Cool.
I remember going into this thinking he had it on lock. I'm like, Flair's going to win it again.
Yeah, for the umpteenth millionth time. But, yeah, not quite.
I think this would have been 10, 11?
Something like that. But up next, we've got Cutie Suzuki and Mayumi Ozaki. Yeah, them. Taking on Bull Nakano and Akira Hokuto with Sonny Ono in her corner. And Bull Nakano is CM Punk's favorite wrestler. Oh, well, hell yeah. This goes 9 minutes, 16 seconds. Akira Hokuto, by the way, is married to Kensuki Sasaki, who's in the very next match. So, but Nakano is wearing...
man, World War III is a family affair. Here's something you never thought you'd say.
Yeah, there you go. Nakano is wearing... Well, at least we got the Japanese to participate in World War III. How about that?
Wow.
What?
Good Lord. Ironically, they may be one of the only countries not in actual World War III. All right, go on.
Nakano is wearing a blue Ric...
Funny, but it's true. Sorry, go on.
Nakano is wearing a blue Ric Flair look-alike robe, and Hokuto is wearing a pink robe with a big pink Japanese mask. Mike Tenay keeps spouting off facts that mean absolutely nothing to anyone. Nakano finally pins
See him in a different form on Wednesday nights on TBS, by the way, nowadays.
Yeah, it may or might not be his illegitimate son under a mask, but, that's for you to decide. But Nakano finally pins Ozaki with a top rope leg drop. Besides the lack of selling, I thought this was a pretty damn good match. Very exciting. Uncle Dave gave it 4 stars. I gave it 3.5. What say you?
Settle down, but I gave it 3. I think Akira Hokuto is very underrated and forgotten about. She was damn good.
Oh yeah, she's really good.
I mean, I never saw the appeal, but people love her.
She was good. But yeah, Hokuto was great. Suzuki and Ozaki were pretty good. So, there was one part in the match I didn't put on here. They kept they had Nakano down, and they kept doing double foot stomps off the top rope, one right after the other. It was like a conveyor belt. That was funny. But Mean Gene Okerlund is pimping the hotline again before calling Jimmy Hart and Lex Luger in for the interview. The crowd erupts with boos. Luger claims that he's the flagship of WCW and he will be the world champion after tonight. And that leads us into this. It is Kensuki Sasaki with Sonny Ono in his corner. He's defending the WCW United States title against Chris Benoit in 10 minutes. A Hooters girl is shown at ringside, and Bobby Heenan loses his train of thought. They keep putting over how Bobby Heenan tried selling half of WCW to Sonny Ono, but he wasn't legally allowed to. So Sonny got kicked off WCW TV. However, Sonny says that compensations are being made for him at Starrcade. For anybody that doesn't know, it's going to be like a America versus Japan thing they got going on at Starrcade. It's fine, I guess.
Sure. We'll call it fine. This is a complete disaster, if I remember correctly, but
it wasn't great. But it was a way for them to get a bunch of New Japan matches on the card. Hogan wasn't there, and Sonny Ono was out there all effing night.
Biggest show of the year, the biggest draw is not there.
Doesn't work for him, brother. But Sasaki,
I actually think it might have been spot on with that this time. That it might not work for him.
Yeah, right. Sasaki hits a big lariat and then a Northern Lights bomb, which is his wife's finishing move, for the win. This was a great Japanese-style match between these two, and I really enjoyed it. Uncle Dave gave it 3.25 stars. I gave it 3.5 again. What say you?
I gave it 4. I really love this match. It was fantastic.
It's really good. Yeah. Sometimes you forget how great Benoit was.
Match of the night, probably.
Oh, yeah. It's got to be up there.
There's one coming. But hold on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep going. I want to be.
Well.
I want to be. What's the word?
Jumping the gun.
Yeah. Don't jump the gun.
Well, Mean Gene Okerlund interviews the Taskmaster, Jimmy Hart, and the Giant.
Red Sox is still on the curse, by the way, at this point, so he's not happy. Still a decade away from breaking it. Sorry.
Good grief. Gene tells the Giant that his father would be embarrassed if he knew how the Giant was acting. By the way, this is when they were still pretending that Andre the Giant was his dad.
God, that's terrible. I didn't realize they did two stupid things with that man with his quote-unquote father.
Right.
I never forgot about this. Yeah.
Yep. Well, Taskmaster says
your father, that the big boss man's going to make fun of for dying in another company in a couple of years, is ashamed of me for this. But yes, okay.
Right. The Taskmaster says that the Dungeon of Doom will dominate tonight. Jimmy Hart calls Hogan, Sting, and Savage the Three Stooges. Taskmaster says that it doesn't matter what member of the dungeon wins tonight. The Giant ends his promo by saying, quote, "Roses are red, violets are blue. I'm going to kick your butt back to Kalamazoo."
What the fuck?
Paul White will never be known for his promo, let's be honest.
No, but this was embarrassing. Like, what? Why did they keep having him rhyme? Like, oh, it's like the Giant from Jack and the Beanstalk. Like, shut the F up.
Is that what that was?
I guess. That's the only thing I can think of. Because he used to make...
kind of rolled my eyes on that one. I didn't realize that. Okay. I mean,
that's what I'm thinking.
Usable, but
because
when there's a reason.
Yeah, because there were a few promos he did where he made kind of references of, like, grinding your bones and, different crap like that. So I was like, okay.
What do you mean crap?
But I said what I said. They show a build-up video for the Macho Man versus Lex Luger, showing that Macho Man never trusted Luger since Lex debuted on Nitro.
He didn't. I remember. He was telling Hogan and Sting the whole time.
You can't trust them, Gene. Oh, yeah. But Mean Gene Okerlund interviews the Macho Man. Mean Gene asks, "Are you jittery?" And Savage says, "I'm always jittery."
That's probably
not wrong.
So many damn Slim Jims and not having a little water.
Yeah, right. I'm chronically dehydrated, Gene. You don't get it. Listen up, Dingleberry. Savage says that he's the total package. Okerlund asks how Macho Man's arm is, and Savage says that it's at 1,000,000%. Highly doubtful. But we now get the Macho Man, Randy Savage, versus Lex Luger with Jimmy Hart in his corner. This goes about 5.5 minutes. Macho Man beats Luger all over the damn place. When Savage goes for the elbow drop and hits it, Jimmy Hart distracts the referee, so Savage can't win. Luger gets in the torture rack. He locks it in outside of the ring.
Lock it in!
Until the Macho Man passes out. Luger rolls him in and locks in an arm bar. Arm bar! Until the referee calls for the bell. Savage is out. He won't release the hold, however, until Sting comes down and asks him to break it. He asks him real nicely. And then Luger just leaves.
What a great guy, huh?
Right?
Excuse me, Lex. I know you're hurting him and all, but can you please let him go? Okay.
For me, buddy. They put over the fact that even though Luger is a heel, he's still friends with Sting, and they'll be partners on Nitro. Nothing really special about this match, by the way. It was decent. Uncle Dave gave it 1.25 stars. I gave it dose. What say you?
I barely gave it 1. So we're supposed to believe, by the way, that Macho Man has a bad arm, gets hurt even more, comes back and beats 59 men.
Well, yeah. I kill 59 men.
He can beat 59 guys, but not one Luger.
I don't know what you don't get about this.
I'm stupid. I don't know. Move on. I'm sorry. Not to spoil the ending, by the way. Sorry.
Oh, gosh. How dare you?
So, what is it, 30-year-old spoiler? How far is it?
27? 27, yeah, 27 years.
27-year spoiler, sorry.
Yep. But a hype video is shown for Sting and Ric Flair's feud again. It shows Flair getting into it with Arn Anderson and Flying Brian, asking Sting for help, and Sting warning Flair to not swerve him, and then Flair swerves him.
Flair does it anyways.
Yeah, right.
Dude, fool me once, fool me twice, come on, Sting, it's your dumbass fault.
Right. Sting is the most gullible man ever.
Kid, I saw this coming a mile away.
Right. Well, this one is Ric Flair versus Sting. Goes for 14.5 minutes. Sister Sherry and Colonel Robert Parker come out onto the stage to watch the match at one point and just keep making out. The match ends when Sting drops Flair and locks in the Scorpion Deathlock for the submission victory. It was Flair versus Sting, so what can I say? Great match. Uncle Dave gave it 3 3/4 stars. I gave it 3.5. Again, what say you?
I gave it 2. Yeah, I've seen better. I feel like.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I really like this match. So
it was good, but
yeah, I always like.
So you see one, you see them all. You know, it's like, geez.
Yeah, that's true. They have their match, and they're going to do that match, and that's it. It's, playing the hits, man. They show a video package for Jimmy Hart turning on Hulk Hogan and joining the Dungeon of Doom. No, how could he? Not Jimmy. Oh, no.
Yeah, and you didn't see that coming? He was even a little punk in Day of Eve.
Right. But not only does he join the Dungeon of Doom, he joins it with Lex Luger. After Jimmy got Hogan disqualified at Halloween Havoc, he came out on Nitro and said that with his power of attorney, he signed the Halloween Havoc contract for Hogan, and the contract had a stipulation, that if Hogan got disqualified, he'd lose the world title. However, the WCW Championship Committee voted that the title would be held up at World War III, and that the Giant was not the rightful champion. So couldn't Jimmy and the Giant sue over this?
I would assume. But
yeah, I think they got a pretty solid case.
Bockwinkel will have more leverage, I guess.
Yeah. If the belt don't fit, you must have quit.
Wow, we're coming up on. No, it already passed. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Hey, right? No.
No. Yeah,
coming up on.
About to happen. Yeah.
I don't know.
But they put over that in the World War III match, there will be one Giant in each ring. In one ring, it's the Yeti. In another, it's the Giant. And then in the third, it's Hulk Hogan. But now we got Mean Gene Okerlund interviewing Hulk Hogan, who says that he smells the stench of the stinky Giant. He says that he'll regain. Apparently, he said that as a shoot because Paul White was a smoker, and he always used to call him the big stinky Giant.
Uh-huh.
But he says
either way, no matter what, it still sounds stupid. But okay, at least there's a reason.
It does, yeah. But he says that he'll regain the world's heavyweight title tonight, and friendships aside, he'll go right through the Macho Man and Sting tonight if need be. Just like diarrhea. Hogan claims that
that's apropos for this event. But yeah.
Hogan claims that this is the most dangerous match in the history of professional wrestling, brother.
Oh, good Lord. That old troop has been done a million times.
Yeah, it's like, bring it down a notch, man. Good Lord.
It's a battle royal on steroids.
No, Greg. Dangerous match. All right. Shut your mouth. God. But that takes us to our second to last break. We got
more to go.
I know. Well, we still got this main event, but we'll cover that right after this.
Follow the Main Event Marks at facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector.
What's up, everybody? I am the hardest part of the ring, the host of the Apron Bump podcast. Ugh, another wrestling podcast. How many times can I listen to fans tell me who needs a push, who doesn't need a push, who brings Vince's coffee these days? Enough! The Apron Bump is about the journey. It's about nostalgia. It's about discovering new forms of wrestling to really tickle your pickle as a wrestling fan. The podcast brings you reviews of wrestling events all over the world, whether it's WWF, WWE, WCW, ECW. We even cover the golden eras of Ring of Honor, Progress, TNA, and more promotions in the future as well. New episodes every Wednesday. Bump Day. Yeah? Go to apronbump.com or go to your favorite podcast platform or YouTube and subscribe today for the most diverse, fan-friendly wrestling podcast in the world. I'm Hard.
Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Find all of our links on our link tree at linktr.ee/main event marks.
And we're back. It's the 60-man, 3-ring World War III Battle Royale for the WCW
Dangerous
World title.
Battle Royale.
Oh, yes, lest I forget. This went 29 minutes and 40 seconds. So, because there are 3 rings and 60 men, there are also 3 broadcast teams. There's Tony Schiavone and Bobby Heenan on one, Eric Bischoff and Dusty Rhodes on another, and Chris Cruz and Larry Zbyszko on the other. This, a little bit of overkill, but...
And no Mongo.
How effing dare they?
Well, seriously, he was like their guy on Nitro, and they don't even put Mongo in there, but...
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they put Dusty in there, but not Mongo. I see how it is.
I mean, it's not like Dusty was any better. No offense. But...
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what I'm getting at. But for some reason, the Yeti now looks like a giant ninja. So, yeah.
Reason. There's a reason, because reasons.
Yeah. A metric crap ton of pyro shoots off before the match officially starts. Cody was jealous. But the Yeti
No, he's jealous. He's a kid at this point, and he knows that's what he wants.
Yeah, he's like, I want that someday, Dad. But the Yeti is the first giant to be eliminated. The entire match is, and how dare they, because I thought he was going to be the Iron Man. But the entire match is on a 3-screen split screen, and I can't keep track of a damn thing. Ring 2 is the first to be cleared, so the giant goes in.
Something tells me they just didn't think of this. Hey, we got 3 rings. How are we going to do this? Oh, we're going to have 3 screens the whole night.
Yay!
That's not stupid.
Right. But Ring 2 gets cleared first, so the giant goes into Ring 1 with Hulk Hogan. Ring 3 is the next to be cleared, so everyone just goes into Ring 1 to make it a 20-man battle royal in one ring. While Sting and Luger were trying to eliminate the giant, Hogan dumps them all out, and then he goes outside under the bottom rope. However, the ref wasn't looking, and he believes that Hogan went out over the top, and so he declares Randy Savage the new world champion. So you can't even have a clean finish on this. Hogan
was
argues
kind of
with
pathetic.
Hogan.
I was overthrown over the top, but I'll still lose.
Yeah, right. Hogan argues with Randy Anderson and Randy Savage for quite a while. The Randys, quite a while, as Mean Gene Okerlund gets in. This was pure chaos with a weird ending. There was far too much going on. Uncle Dave gave it a star. I give it a 1.5 stars for effort. What say you?
I gave it 2 because at the time it was original.
Yeah.
So it's the first time. You got to give credit for that. Yeah, it was a cluster.
Well,
the 3 things on my TV at once was stupid. What's the point of having 3 commentary teams if you're going to have one picture split amongst 3 things? But what's the point? Why do we need 3?
I know.
You have 3 if you're going to focus. Okay, we're going to Ring 1 now with Tony's team. Ring 2, whatever. No, they didn't do that. So it's it was. Can you overbook commentators? I didn't think you could, but apparently you can.
Oh, you can. It was dumb. Anyway, Macho Man is
thought out is the problem. That's the end thing about the whole thing.
This was complicated. Macho Man had finally declared the winner and the new world champion. Hogan is still arguing his cause and going insane. He's just like a crybaby at this point. The decision is actually
went on forever.
Yep. Something is getting booed here. I don't know if it's Hogan or the decision.
I'm pretty sure it's Hogan.
Savage says he didn't see nothing, but says, quote, I live by... He says, I live by what it is what it is. Can you handle that? That doesn't make any sense.
It's a good way of life. What it is what it is.
Hogan still argues and even polls the fans. God. Savage says that he doesn't want a dark cloud over his title reign and says he wants to see the film. the film, brother. Because they can't just put a replay up on the screen. Hogan says that on Nitro, he'll show him the film, and then he congratulates Savage. Says that he still needs to see the film and deserves a shot at his belt. God, what a sore loser. They end the show by
both shouting. Just made him look like a complete...
It does. They end the show by both shouting, "Oh, yeah." So cool. And that brings us to the end of our show.
I mean, it's hard to argue when people talk crap about him when you see stuff like this. I like when Macho Man just be the guy.
Right. No, Hogan got screwed. And then he acts like a whiner about it. Like, shut the F up, man. Nobody cares. We're going to take our final break. On the other end of this, it's final ratings time and telling you what's coming up in the week ahead on the podcast.
Follow the Main Event Marks at facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod, on Twitter at Main Event _Marks, and on Instagram at Main Event _Marks and at Main Event Collector.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. My name is Thomas, and what's your name?
I'm Alan.
Alan.
Oh, yeah. We're brothers.
That's right.
Yeah. Same mother and father.
Your room was...
Oh, we shared the room.
Shared a room?
We shared the room.
Thought I knew your face.
Yeah, we go way back, mate. Yeah.
We should do a podcast then.
We have.
We do a podcast?
We do a podcast.
What's it called?
The Broadcast. Yeah, that was planned.
Yeah, well.
What do we do?
Well, we cover all different things in the world of pop culture. We're talking about comic books, we're talking about professional wrestling, and we're talking about movies. Go back and watch classic retro wrestling events, the likes of WWE, WCW, and if you do like that, you can check us out on Apple iTunes, also on Podbean, Anchor, and on Podknife. Also check us out on Twitter at The Broadcast. That's BROKAST. I nearly stuffed up the ending.
No, it's all right. Good on you.
Yeah. Instagram also at The Broadcast Podcast.
Remember, we don't spell it with a C. We spell it with a K.
Salute, mate.
Take it easy.
Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Find all of our links on our link tree at linktr.ee/Main Event Marks.
And we're back.
We're back.
Final ratings time. Internet Movie Database gave this 6.2 out of 10. CageMatch.net gave it 5.78 out of 10. I graded it a little higher because I thought it was one of the best ones of 95. One of the best ones of 95. Even though there was some crappy crap going on, I gave it an 8 out of 10 for a probably B-. What say you?
C-. I wanted to say D, but World War III at this point was the first one ever. It's kind of original. Never seen it before. But just, yeah.
Yeah, it was something. But anyway, that does it for that, man. Coming up on the podcast, though, we got some good stuff. Next week.
Yes, I promise.
Yeah, I haven't seen the show yet, but I'm going to assume this is already better than World War III. On November 9th, we're bringing you TNA Genesis 2007. Hopping back on that tour of TNA in 07. I'm looking forward to watching this one. I know Booker T is at the show. I think this was he just popped up in TNA.
He did, yeah.
So that'll be cool. November 16th. We're going to bring you an even better show. This one I can guarantee is better. It is WWE Survivor Series 2002 for its 20-year anniversary. Looking forward to watching that one back. 02 is one of our favorite years.
Great.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 2002.
Maybe only one stinker on it?
Yeah, I'll have to watch back to see, but yeah. But either way, that does it for today, man. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, sure.
And we will see you all next week with TNA Genesis 2007.